Hey, it's Miss Chris. I'm back. I wanted to talk to you today about Star Trek Beyond. If you have not seen the movie, please cut the video off now. I don't want to spoil it by ruining any plot points. Okay, I also took some notes because this was a lot to try to decipher. So, Star Trek always opens up with the captain's log. Captain Kirk was doing his log. Basically, he was talking about, how he's been in space for 3, 4 years. There's no real destination. And I kind of took that as something that was mirroring his life. He goes back into his room. He's celebrating his birthday alone. He didn't want to celebrate his birthday with others because it was the same day, even though he was born, it was the same day that his father died. And he wrestles with, can he live up to the reputation, the legendary reputation that his father has? And what was his real reasons in joining Starfleet? Did he do it because he was trying to be his father? His mentor, Bones, I call him his mentor because, Bones is always the one that's, giving him more practical advice because, as you know, James Tiberius Kirk always flies by the seat of his pants. Bones told him, don't worry about it. You're going to find your way. You shouldn't be in here by yourself. Before I go on with the rest of the deciphering the mythic themes in Star Trek Beyond, I want to talk about colors. I don't know if you noticed it, but I'm pretty sure you did notice it. Everyone has a specific color. Like Uhura, even though she's in red, she's the communications officer, but she's also the love interest of Spock. Spock and Bones are in blue, which represent a higher power center within the body, specifically the throat, and they're very verbose. They speak a lot. They say a lot of words to communicate a simple fact. They both wear blue. James wears like a mustard yellow, which represents the power center of the will. He's always very willful. He goes by the seat of his pants. He just jumps in. He doesn't think. And Bones and Spock, who are the higher colors of this power center, are always the one that bring him back down and are a little bit more practical. So their colors are not just their designation and rank within the Starfleet, but they're also symbolic of what they stand for in the movie. Okay. So James is refusing to grow. He's refusing to try to find out who he is because he didn't think he could live up to his father's legendary reputation of sacrificing himself to save his crew. Then crash, bang, boom, all of a sudden Crawl and his group, they basically raid the USS Enterprise. Okay, so now James is forced on an adventure. He comes from his ordinary world, and now there's a call to adventure. And now he has to find the warrior within. He has to find the courage to do what needs to be done, to think outside of the box, to think about someone other than himself. Okay, so now it's Crawl and his crew are raiding and decimating the USS Enterprise. He has to do something very similar that his father did. He told everyone to basically abandon ship. His father did the same exact thing. If you haven't seen the new Star Trek, the first one, go check it out. His father did the same thing. His father sacrificed himself so the crew can get off the ship. He basically was like diverting all the attention to his original ship so that his crew can leave. And James was in the same exact position. So now he's living out his father's legacy. Okay? So he's finding the courage to be a warrior, to sacrifice himself for others. Now, what they didn't know that was Crawl was saving all the survivors. So everyone crash landed in their little pods down onto Crawl's space or planet or city or wherever they were. Okay, so Bones and Spock were separated from the group. James and I forgot the other guy's name, the one who works down with the warp, he also wears red. But his is more impulsive. And Chekhov also wears red. They're very impulsive. They're very physical because they work with the physicality of keeping the ship moving, keeping the Enterprise in space. So they wear red, a very physical, powerful color. Okay. Let me check my notes because I don't want to go off. Okay, so when they were crash landed, James and I forgot his name. I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about. Scotty. Scotty beam me up. Him and Scotty were together. They run across a fierce female warrior named Jayla. Love, love, love her. She is the same actress who was in Kingsman. She was the one with the needle and the razor legs. That's the same actress. She was phenomenal in that, and she's phenomenal in this. She takes them back to her home, which was an old USS Starfleet ship, and basically it was like entering a cave. Now he's preparing. Let me see. Yeah, he's preparing for change. He's going into like a cocoon state. He's to formulate a plan to figure out how to save his crew. Now, James has always been the type of person where he wouldn't just leave somebody behind, but this time he has his entire crew. It's a lot of people. So he has to really come up with this huge plan. So they see this big motorcycle. They see this motorcycle, and you know, he's all about stunts. He's all about doing something totally crazy, not really thinking about it. He's just gonna jump on there, and whatever happens, happens. Okay? So now he's acting as the protector. He wants to protect his crew. He wants to save his crew, and no matter what happens, he's gonna get his crew back. And also, later on, he also has to save this planet city, but that's later on. Okay. So what he does is he comes up with a plan with Scotty and Jayla, and they go and they rescue the crew. They're able to beam the crew back to the old ship, which was I think it was the USS Franklin. Come to find out, Crawl was the original captain of the USS Franklin. Now it's kind of funny. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent, on a little side note. When Jayla, she plays some music, they called it classical. It was Public Enemy's "Fight the Power." Okay, I thought that was pretty cool. They're trying to fight the power that be, because they were all slaves. All the people that Crawl, you know, him and his crew, that they raided and they took down to their planet as slaves. They were trying to fight the power, and they were trying to find a way off the planet, and they were also trying to survive. So she was playing Fight the Power. But then when Jim came later on, they were trying to find a way to save the city planet. I can't even remember the name of this huge planet-sized city that's floating out into space. They needed to distract Crawl's ships. They were kind of like a hive. They were like bees, and they were all coordinated. So they needed this specific frequency to throw off the coordination, and they used Beastie Boys' "Sabotage," which I thought was good as well. So that was very well planned. They're sabotaging Crawl's plan to, you know, decimate and take over, destroy the city, because Crawl was feeling like, okay, well, you know, you sent me out here, you know, I was a former warrior, you put me in the captain's chair, and then you abandoned me and my crew, so we had to do everything we need to survive, because there was just like this weird alien society down on this planet, and they gave them some weird new life force, and he was feeling abandoned. So he felt, okay, well, you abandoned me, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take my revenge. So Crawl was dealing with his own heroic journey, going from, you know, being a captain. Actually, he went down. He went to a sheer survival mode in his heroic journey, and actually Captain Kirk was spiraling up. So as Captain Kirk and Crawl, you know, obviously Kirk saved the planet. Now there's the road back. The road back is, okay, now, you know, Jim is his own hero in his own right. His journey was very similar to his father's, but he did not have to, you know, slide around on the coattails of his father. He created his own mythic journey. He created his own legend by saving most of his crew, especially his main people, you know, like Spock, Bones, Scotty, Uhura. And I forgot to mention, in the very beginning, he wanted to not fly at all. He wanted to be grounded. He wanted to be a vice admiral, basically take a desk job. He didn't know who he was. He didn't think that he was capable of going to places where no man has gone before, and really, you know, being this great captain. So he just wanted to sit at a desk and, you know, chill and be vice admiral. So when he came back from this terrific call to adventure, this terrific heroic journey, he actually turned down the vice admiral's position, because now he found the courage within himself that he can be his own man. He does not have to live up to what society or what his crew thinks or what his father's legend was. He created his own legend. He created himself. And that's where he was resurrected. He was born. He was born again. He became the alchemist of his own life. He transformed his own life while he was watching his new ship, because the U.S. Enterprise was just like, they destroyed the Enterprise in more ways than one. So while he was watching his new ship being assembled, his crew, you know, formed around him. I'm sorry, let me digress. He actually came back from the adventure, and Bones surprised him with a birthday party. So he went to celebrating his birthday alone, to having everyone that cared about him, including Jayla. They brought Jayla back and his entire crew, and they celebrated him. They celebrated him as a hero in his own right. A hero in his own right. And he felt actually that he belonged somewhere, because as you know, Jim was foster care. You know, his father died in the ship. His mother was off planet, and he lived with his uncle or something, very much like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. But he was a foster kid, and he had no sense of belonging anywhere. So now he's made his family. He belongs somewhere. Everyone has a specific role in his life, and he in theirs. And now he is an altruist. He has compassion for himself and others, and he has a new sense of self. So that was my breakdown of Star Trek Beyond. Now I want you to think about, when you go to the movies, like I said to you before, don't just sit there and watch the movie. Think about what you're looking at. Think about the symbols in the movies, colors, themes, music, surroundings, foreshadowing. Think about the female entities, how they're being portrayed in the movies. Think about the interactions of the actors in the movies. What are their roles? And think about the heroic journey. How is Captain Kirk, what he was going through in his life, similar to what you're possibly going through in your life? Are you not feeling that you belong anywhere? You just want to just sit back and chill and have an easy job and get paid and not really fulfill your mythic destiny? Or are you like Bones and Spock, you know, two great men, you know, both of them are very highly educated? Or are you meant to work with others and help them on their journey? So you have to think about where you are. I think that's why we like stories, because they show us things about ourselves. So when you watch a television show or you watch a movie, think about what the story is saying to you about yourself and your life, and how you can take some of the clues and find some courage within yourself to solve some of your problems and take your own heroic journey and be mythic in your life. Okay, family and friends, I'm done. A couple of things. The new Justice League video trailer is up. Also, the new Wonder Woman trailer is available to view. Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage is available to view. I'm very excited to go over those movies. I think the next movie that I'm going to do, the Mythic themes, is Jason Bourne. That's going to be a big one, because he's got like 3-4 movies, and that's going to take a lot. So that comes out on Friday. And I'm looking forward to doing that. And I think the next one after that will be the Suicide Squad. That's going to be another big one, because it's so many of them, although it's supposed to be a Will Smith video. All right, that's it, my family of the French. Take care of yourself. Until next time, remember to be the hero of your own story. Bye.